Hello Sagittarius, Sagittarius Rising, and Sagittarius Moon people. This is your weekly astrological and card horoscope for the week starting November 27th, year 2017. And a quick reminder for all of you Sagittarius out there, remember if you ever want to get a session with me, you do need to go to my website, integrativemysticism.com, or you just follow the links below. So what is going on with your astrology this week? Well, on Tuesday, we've got Saturn forming a tight conjunction with Mercury in your sign. And it does look to me like there is going to be a need for you to step up and finally kind of speak up or put a stop to something that's gotten a little out of hand. With Mercury conjunct Saturn, we talk about a correction, either a correction in somebody's conduct, a correction in a rule, or a correction in sort of just a standard or a norm that is no longer working out for anybody. Because it's in your sign, this can happen in a number of capacities. It may happen a lot Tuesday and Wednesday. You may be doing this with family one day, work the next, neighbors. I'm not sure. It seems to me, though, you're going to have to put a stop to something that you have known has gotten just a little bit out of control. And, asserting a new limitation or a new boundary or redrawing it around this situation will be necessary. On Saturday, we've got Jupiter, planet of luck, abundance, and expansion in your 12th house, so your past, your privacy, and your hidden zone, forming a gorgeous trine to Neptune in your 4th house of home and family. And this could indicate a recovery of maybe a distanced or estranged family relationship or a challenged family relationship, or perhaps even some kind of gift or some kind of benefic act done by a family member for something they feel like they've owed you in the past, or perhaps something that was meant to belong to you all along finally makes its way home. A very, very pleasant surprise, no matter how you look at it. But this does seem to be relating to a family history of some kind, and this may be something you weren't expecting or something you didn't expect to come to you. So what's happening with your cards? Well, for your spiritual advice, we have the Sun. And the Sun, the prompt reads, your perseverance is rewarded. Okay, and this week is basically talking about payoffs. Now, we talk about perseverance being rewarded, though. It's also talking about a warning. We may be actually approaching not only the end of the tunnel where the light is, but there may also be some of the toughest challenges at the very end. We're approaching a lot of climaxes this week. And the Sun card is saying, okay, sometimes this is where, the weaker will quit, will give up just at the very, very end, or it's like dropping out of school when you've got a 4.0 in your last semester. And the Sun card is basically saying, no, I don't care what your morale is, I don't care what your mood is, I don't care how stressed out you are, you're going to actually have a big payoff, and we actually start to see the payoffs this week. Please don't no call, no show. The Sun card upright can indicate a wonderful turn of events where, especially if there's something you've been long counting on transitioning or altering, either because, again, it's a trend that was never meant to stay, or perhaps a behavioral pattern, or just a quality of life that sort of became the norm, will be expunged. And again, your perseverance in trying to actually get things back to the right way of being, or the way they should be, is going to be paying off if we do allow that climax to come and go, conflict included. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we do have the Two of Swords reversed. And this could actually work out very nicely for a lot of you Sagittarius people, especially if you have been trying to take some space for yourself or put some space between you and maybe a colleague or an authority figure that you just don't gel with anymore. And with the Two of Swords reversed, this is actually going to be helping you in a big way. I think that you're probably going to be sort of adopted by the winning side in any kind of conflict or controversy that could be going on. We're also seeing with the Two of Swords reversed an elimination of some kind of negative influence or liability that has been on you at the office this week, or perhaps even something that has been sort of poking holes in your wallet and your pocketbook. And the Two of Swords reversed is saying there's a protection in that. The elimination or the space taken from this is actually going to start saving you money again this week. The Two of Swords reversed can say that decisions are being made for you behind the scenes, but the commitment made is actually in your best interest. And this could also be a commitment you want to keep or that will be kept quite secure. For your communications with air, when it comes to your friends, your relatives, the others in your life, you have the Six of Wands upright. There is actually a message of victory coming your way from a friend or a relative that you have actually put a lot of trust or a lot of stock in. Perhaps the two of you have been working on a similar agenda, working on a project, or perhaps, again, tackling a similar issue together. And there may be news of victory coming from him or her, whether it is the task is done, or the completion achieved, or perhaps, again, things actually going very, very well behind your back. In fact, the Six of Wands can indicate that this is actually bringing good news to you. This friend or this relative may actually be saying, you know, something as simple as it is done, or, you know, again, we have victory. But the nice thing about this card is saying that it is your victory every much as it is theirs. So if you have been sort of trying to take a pronged approach to a challenge that the two of you have been both in agreement needs to go, I think that we'll be letting you know that there is a glimpse, not only a glimpse of hope, but actually more so than that. I think that there is going to be some kind of victory, some kind of great big win for you all this week. For your challenge this week with fire, we've got the Ten of Cups upright. It's not really a challenge at all. The Ten of Cups, I often preface this in my, in my tarot home study course that I sell as the happily ever after card. And the Ten of Cups as a challenge is basically saying, look, do you know how to set a new norm, a better norm? Do you know how to actually improve on a good situation? And, the Ten of Cups can indicate, if there is a challenge, it could be maintaining the peace or allowing yourself to enjoy the peace. Sometimes what happens is we have a win, we have a victory, but we've been struggling for so long, we're still thinking about our pain over the past instead of actually enjoying the win and the transition into a better quality of life. And the challenge, that could be a challenge, I guess. The nice thing about the Ten of Cups as a challenge is basically there is no overarching challenge of this week for you, Sagittarius people. There is no big problem that carries day to day to day. There isn't any kind of big lesson or ongoing anything. Seems like a nice break. For your emotions with water and your romantic energy, we do have the King of Cups reversed. Now this week may still need to, it may not be your problem, but there could be some other people's problems. The King of Cups reversed can show up for a lot of you single Sagittarius people, as somebody that, let's just put it this way, they're not ready to be in a relationship, but they need it real bad. And the King of Cups reversed can often show up as somebody who is more in love with being in love. They're the type of person that's more interested in getting married than the person they're married to, in getting into a relationship than the person they're with. And, with the King of Cups reversed, they can lay it on pretty thick, okay? Most likely a water sign, a Cancer, Pisces, or a Scorpio. And sometimes this person is carrying still a lot of wound or a lot of insecurity that they're kind of wearing on the outside. It's important to pay attention to where just because somebody is willing, it doesn't mean they're ready or able. Doesn't mean they're a bad person. Hopefully it's a phase they're growing out of. For those of you who are currently coupled, the King of Cups reversed, however, can indicate this may actually either be your partner or maybe somebody else in the relationship, or maybe in your family, one of your kids, a close friend, an in-law. Again, those insecurities, those old wounds, those old issues are threatening to kind of run the show a little bit, and sometimes that happens. And we can't let our relationship, time its watch to a person's problems, especially if they're meant to be healed so we don't have to deal with them anymore. And the King of Cups reversed can talk about, again, perhaps a needy third party coming between you and a partner, or a needy friend or relative or something like that, pulling energy away from the relationship. Insecurities can crop up, and, you may find that it may be hard to get this person to do solving when they're in vent mode. See what you can to make sure that you and your partner still have a united front and are on the same side when tackling this issue. So that is your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session, you can always follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com.